Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be continuing with solving linear equations. In the previous video, we discussed and completed solving simple linear equations, and now these ones will be a little bit more complex, but not too hard. And in the video after this, we'll be continuing with more complex linear equations. But still, it will never be hard because I'll be able to explain it to you so that you can understand. So stay tuned. Okay, so in this first question, we're going to have 6t plus 7 is equal to 13 plus 7t. So basically the point of this question would be to solve for the variable, or make the variable the subject of the equation. So what we would want to do is that we would want to put everything that has a t in it on one side of the equal sign and the constants on the other side of the equal sign. So these letters in math are referred to as variables. So that's what we're going to call it. T is our variable in this equation, and we want to solve for t, the variable. So what we're going to do is we're going to have all the t's on one side of the equation and all of the constants on the other side of the equation. Okay, so let's get that started. What we want to do is take this 7 over the equal sign with the 13, and then take this 7t over the equal sign with the 6t. So that's basically what's going to be happening right now. So let's do that real quickly. Bring this over a little bit. And when I bring it over a little bit, what I want to do is subtract 7, because I have a positive 7 here, and I want to get rid of the 7. So what I'm going to do is just subtract the whole 7 from this side. So once I subtract this 7 from this side of the equal sign, I have to do it to the other side of the equal sign as well. Because what you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side. So let's write the resulting equation. 7 minus 7 is 0. So then we would have 6t is equal to 13 plus 7t minus 7. Okay? Okay, so the next step would be to bring this 7t over the equal sign with the 6t, so that we would be able to have everything on the same side of the equation that are similar to each other. So to take the 7t over the equal sign, we would just subtract 7t from this side of the equation, because if you look here, 7t is being added over here. So to get rid of it, we would just subtract 7t. And because we subtracted 7t on this side of the equation, we would also have to subtract 7t on this side of the equation. So we would have 6t and then minus 7t. And let's just solve for the resulting equation. Plus 7t minus 7t will cancel out. So then we would be left with 6t minus 7t is equal to 13 minus 7. Okay, so now let's continue the question. Let's just solve. So right now we would see we have 6t minus 7t is equal to 13 minus 7. And 6t minus 7t is just going to give us negative t, or negative 1t, which is the same as negative t. And 13 minus 7 is equal to 6. Okay? And so if we look here, we have negative t is equal to 6. But what we want to do is make this t positive. So we would have to take out this negative sign that's in front of the t And to do that, all we would have to do is multiply both sides of the equation by -1. So if we multiply this side of the equation by -1, and multiply this side of the equation by -1, two negatives make a positive. So -1 times -t is going to give us just t, positive t. And 6 times -1 is going to give us -6. So then t is just equal to -6. And that's basically how to solve that question. Okay, so now that we've removed the 6a from the right side of the equal sign, we're going to carry this -3 over, this one over here. And so to do that, we would just have to add 3 on both sides. So if we add 3 on this side, we would have to add 3 on the other side of the equal sign. And when we have a +3 and a -3, they both cancel out each other. So then the resulting equation would just be 7a minus 6a is equal to 3 plus 3. Alright? And so 7a minus 6a is just 1a. And 1a is just a. We don't have to write the 1 in front of it because we already know it's 1a. And 3 plus 3 is 6. So in this case, a is equal to 6. Okay guys, so for this next question, we're going to have 2x plus 12 is equal to 6x. It's a pretty quick question actually. Basically for this question, all we want to do is group like terms like we said and solve for x. So what we're going to do is remove the x from the side with the constant. In this case we have a 2x and we have a 12. So let's carry this 2x over the equal sign with the 6x and we should be good. So to do that, we're just going to subtract 2x from both sides of the equal sign and we'll be good. So minus 2x on this side because a negative 2x and a positive 2x will cancel out. But because we subtracted 2x on this side, we have to subtract 2x from this side as well. So then our resulting equation would just be 12 is equal to 6x minus 2x. And then we know that 6x minus 2x is just 4x. And basically, to solve for x now, like we did in the previous video, all we would want to do is perform the opposite operation as to what's happening to the x. So the 4 is multiplying the x. To get rid of the 4, we would have to divide by the x. So we divide by on this side, and because we divided by 4 on this side of the equal sign, we also have to divide by 4 on this side of the equal sign. And 4 divided by 4 is just 1. So these two just cancel out and would make it 1x. And 1x is just x. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So we found our answer. X is equal to 3. Okay, so let's get started. Let's carry over this 2n on this side of the equal sign. And the way we have to do that is by subtracting 2n on both sides of the equal sign. So we're going to have a negative 2n here and a negative 2n over here. And a 2n minus 2n are going to cancel out. So then our resulting equation would just be 6n minus 2n plus 7 is equal to 5. Okay? So now that we have the n's on the same side, we're going to want to have the constants on the same side, or the numbers. And so let's just subtract 7 on both sides, because this plus 7 minus 7 will just cancel out. So then the resulting equation would be 6n minus 2n is equal to 5 minus 7. And let's just solve. 6n minus 2n is just equal to 4n, of course. And then 5 minus 7 is just going to equal -2. And now we just solve for n. 4 is being multiplied by the n. So now we would just divide. And if we divide by 4 on this side, we would also have to divide by 4 on the other side. And we know 4 divided by 4 is just 1, and 1n is just n. And then -2 divided by 4 will just give us -1/2. And that's how you would solve that question. Alright guys, I hope you understood these questions that we did today. We'll be completing some more tomorrow. Like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below what you would like to see in future videos, and I will get to you. Thank you. Bye. Okay guys, so this next question is going to be 6n plus 7 is equal to 2n plus 5. Alright? Now feel free to pause the video and try this on your own. What I'm going to do in this question is bring this 2 over this side of the equal sign and bring this 7 over this side of the equal sign. Okay? Okay, so for this next question, we're going to have n minus 3n is equal to 14 minus n. And feel free to pause the video and try it for yourself. Okay, so what we're going to do here, like we mentioned in the previous questions, is try to get all the variables on one side of the equal sign and all of the constants on the other side. So in this question, our variables are n. We have n in 3 places. And we want to get rid of the n on one side of the equal sign because we want this by itself and we want the n's by themselves. Okay? So let's get that started. We're going to carry over this n here, this -n, on this side of the equal sign. And once we carry over this, what we're going to do basically is add n to both sides, because what we have here is a -n, and what we want to cancel out that -n, we would have to add n. So we would just add n on both sides of the equal sign, and -n plus n cancels out. So the resulting equation would be n plus n minus 3n is equal to 14. Hope you're following. So now we're going to have n plus n, which is 2n, because 1n plus 1n is going to be 2n. And that's going to be minus 3n is equal to 14. Okay, and 2n minus 3n is going to be -1n, or just -n, and that's going to equal to 14. And remember guys, what we're going to do is multiply each side of the equation by -1 so that we could just have a positive n. Because whatever we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other. And by the time you guys are finished watching these videos, you will always remember that, if that's the only thing you remember. So, -1 times -n is going to give us positive n. And 14 times -1 is going to be -14. So, our answer is -14. I hope you guys understood that one. Okay, so for our next question, we have 7a minus 3 is equal to 3 plus 6a. Okay? So let's do the same thing that we did in the previous question. Let's just get all the variables on one side and all of the constants on one side. So we have 7a, and we know we want 6a with 7a. And then we also have a constant, which is -3, and then we also have another 3. So we basically just want to get all of these on the same side of the equation. So let's get that started. Let's bring this 6a over the equal sign with the 7a, and then bring this -3 over the equal sign with this -3. And that's how we're going to solve that one. So one step at a time. To get rid of the 6a on this side of the equal sign, all we would have to do is subtract 6a. Because we have a plus 6a, we just want to have a minus 6a so that it will cancel out. So if we just minus 6a on this side, remember what we do to one side of the equal sign, we have to do to the other side to make it equal. So we would have to put the -6a on this side as well. And on this side of the equation, plus 6a minus 6a will just cancel out. So then we would have 7a minus 3 minus 6a is equal to 3.